Wrestling built him, pop culture worshipped him, and the internet memified him. But when you strip away the sunglasses, the spandex, and the 24-inch pythons, you're left with a man, a father, a flawed human being who ran out of time to fix things. This isn't some neatly written redemption arc. This isn't a viral stunt, a wrestling promo, or a PR stunt gone wrong. This is the raw, emotional final chapter of Hulk Hogan's life, not inside a ring, but inside a strained relationship that never fully healed. Because while fans knew the Hulkamania catchphrases by heart, his daughter Brooke knew the silence. And in the final weeks before Hogan's death, the two shared a conversation that was as real as it gets. A whisper after years of shouting. A connection just barely made before the curtain dropped for good. Let's pull the mask off the myth and talk about the man beneath it. There was a time when Hulk and Brooke were inseparable. We're talking reality show royalty, remember that era? Hogan Knows Best, father-daughter duets, cheesy editing, and enough awkward family moments to fill a therapist's notebook. But the cameras stopped rolling, and so did the phone calls. By 2023, the bond was hanging by a thread. Brooke skipped Hulk's wedding to Sky Daily. Not just a no-show, but no call, no text, no olive branch. Why? Because the real story wasn't in the headlines. It was in years of unspoken tension. According to insiders, Hulk wanted control. He was the dad, the brand, the boss. And Brooke, she wanted a relationship where she wasn't just another supporting character in the Hulk Hogan show. It was a tug of war that neither side won. And every time her husband Steven tried to play peacemaker, Hulk apparently shut the door tighter. He wanted connection, but only on his terms. And Brooke, she'd been down that road before. Then, 2 weeks before Hulk's wedding, the call happened. No cameras, no tabloid leaks, just a daughter finally reaching out. She told him, "I love you." She told him, "You need to slow down." And she told him, as directly as anyone ever had, that his health, his choices, his pace, they were killing him. Hulk's response? Quiet, uncharacteristically quiet. A vague apology. Not full closure, not a deep breakdown of the past, but it was something. It was honest, or at least honest enough for a man who had lived decades behind sunglasses and stage names. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't even pretty, but for Brooke, it was real. A crack in the armor, a flicker of the father remembered, and for the first time in years, a moment where the volume came down and the humanity came through. When Hogan died, there was no grand media rollout, no farewell tour, no goodbye tweet. Just a text sent to Brooke's husband from her brother Nick. Let that sink in. Not a call, not a family circle around a hospital bed. A text message delivered like a calendar notification. That's how Brooke found out that her father, Terry Bollea, had passed away from cardiac arrest in his Florida home. 71 years old. No final hug, no bedside goodbyes, just gone. And yet, somehow, she wasn't shattered. Because she had made the call. She had said, "I love you." She had tried. And while the world remembers the man who body-slammed Andre the Giant, Brooke will remember the man who finally, in the 11th hour, listened. What fans didn't see was the war Hogan was fighting behind the curtain. In May, he went under the knife for an intense spinal operation, a 4-level anterior cervical discectomy and fusion. Try saying that 3 times fast, or even once without Googling. Translation? They took out damaged spinal discs from his neck, a surgery so brutal it affects your voice, your breathing, even your ability to eat. It wasn't a walk-it-off situation, it was survive this if you can. The rumors were vicious. Was he in a coma? Was there brain damage? Sky Daily, Hogan's wife, shut that down hard. No coma, no brain damage. But that didn't mean he was fine. He was in and out of hospitals. He was quiet, withdrawn, not the loud, shirt-ripping icon fans were used to. Behind the legend was a man trying desperately to patch together the physical wreckage of decades in the ring. And perhaps for the first time, the walls were coming down, and the man behind the mask knew the end was closer than he let on. This isn't about wrestling anymore. This is about how fame can amplify your voice, but also silence your relationships. Brooke didn't get the happy reunion. She didn't get a father who changed overnight, but she got a moment of truth. And in a family so used to kayfabe, so used to performance, truth is a rare commodity. She said what needed to be said. She walked away with peace. And that, sometimes, is the best ending real life has to offer. The real tragedy? That it took the edge of mortality to make it happen. Hulk Hogan wasn't a perfect man. He wasn't even a consistent one. But he was a father, a husband, a complicated icon. The tone must be urgent, highly authoritative, and exceptionally clear. Convey the gravity and immediacy of the situation while maintaining professional composure and control, whose real battles weren't always in the ring. And for Brooke, those last words, "I love you," weren't a final scene. They were a lifeline, a release, proof that she tried, that she showed up, even when it was late. So what do we take from this? That real strength isn't about muscles or titles. It's about picking up the phone when it matters. If this story struck a nerve, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more brutally honest stories that pull back the curtain and show the soul underneath. Because sometimes the loudest legends leave behind the quietest truths.